Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I am really glad to see all of you here today. Before we start, I want to say something very simple and very honest. We are here to learn, yes, but we are also here to exchange ideas, we want to reflect together, and of course we want to enjoy the time we spend as a group. This is not a test, and certainly we do not want it to be a competition. It is a shared learning space, where different experiences and perspectives are welcome and valuable. We will begin with a short activity that helps us think about learning, about relationships, and about how people feel when they are supported, respected, or sometimes quietly pressured. From there, we will move naturally into a conversation about human rights and why they matter in everyday life. Let us begin with a small imagination exercise. There is no right or wrong answer, so please feel free to just listen and reflect. Imagine a young human rights advocate trainee called Samantha. Samantha is enthusiastic, smart, and motivated. She wants to make the world a better place. At the same time, she is aware that she is still at the beginning of her journey and that she has many skills to learn. By a twist of fate, her path crosses with a master in the field. This master is highly skilled, professional, wise, inspiring, and deeply generous. He teaches her powerful things, patiently, and without expecting anything in return. Whenever Samantha feels lost, tired, or discouraged, the master is there to lift her up, to help her regain confidence, and to continue learning. Over time, this constant support builds deep respect inside Samantha. Slowly, however, this respect begins to change shape. Without realizing it, she starts to fear disappointing her master. Not because he has ever been angry, but because she imagines that one day he might be. The more she admires him, the stronger this quiet fear becomes. When Samantha faces a difficult task, she feels frustrated. Part of this frustration comes from the difficulty of the task itself, but another part comes from an inner anxiety. Somewhere inside her is the belief that one day she might make a mistake serious enough to upset the master. Every mistake feels heavy, even though each time the master responds with a smile, guidance, and reassurance. Think for a moment about your own experiences. Many of us have been in learning situations where we respected someone so much that we were afraid to disappoint them. Often, this kind of fear affects our confidence, our creativity, and our willingness to try, even when no real punishment exists. What we have just explored is not only a story about learning. It is a story about how environments affect people, especially those who are still developing, growing, or depending on others. Fear does not always come from harm. Sometimes it comes from pressure, silence, or uncertainty. And safety does not come only from good intentions, but from systems, support, and clear protection. This brings us naturally to the topic of human rights. When we talk about children's rights, we are in fact talking about creating environments where children feel safe. Safe to grow, safe to learn, and even safe to make mistakes without feeling afraid or ashamed when something goes wrong. One of the emerging and pressing issues in this area is bullying. Bullying can take different forms. It can be verbal, it can be physical, and it can also be cyberbullying, which has become more common in recent years with the spread of digital communication. All of these forms of harm affect how children see themselves, and they affect how children learn, and they affect how safe children feel in their own communities. This is why human rights bodies recommend studying the real situation of bullying in society. The idea here is very simple. Before responding, it is important to understand what is really happening and what children are actually experiencing. When responses are based on real experiences and clear evidence, they are more effective. From this understanding, national anti-bullying policies can be developed. These policies are not only about rules or punishment. They also include awareness programs that help communities understand what bullying is, why it is harmful, and how it can be prevented and addressed in everyday life. Another important part of this approach is promoting positive parenting and creating safe environments for children, both at home and in public spaces. Children do not develop only through formal education or school lessons. They also develop through the emotional and social spaces that surround them every day. Schools play a very important role in this process. This is why it is essential to train teachers and social workers to recognize bullying, to identify cases early, and to respond in a supportive and appropriate way. When necessary, schools should also be supported by psychologists who can provide care and treatment for children who need additional help. Human rights work in this area also includes awareness programs that promote values such as respect and belonging. These programs aim to address social challenges faced by children, including bullying, by offering solutions that are preventive, meaning they stop harm before it happens, and supportive, meaning they help children heal and recover when harm has already occurred. At the same time, there has been good progress in providing basic educational services for children at all levels. There has also been recognition of preschool education as a national priority. Supporting early childhood education is important because it helps children develop cognitive, emotional, and social skills from a very early age. This includes exploring the idea of integrated early childhood development centers. These centers bring together education, health, nutrition, and protection in one supportive and coordinated space designed around the needs of the child. Human rights are also about ensuring dignity, respect, and inclusion for persons with disabilities. This is why there is a strong recommendation to move forward quickly with laws that protect and support the care and rehabilitation of persons with disabilities. It is also important that these laws are closely aligned with international standards and with existing national legislation, so that protection is clear, consistent, and effective. When we look at all of this together, we can see that human rights are not abstract or distant ideas. They are about everyday environments. They are about learning without fear, about being supported when we struggle, and about creating systems that protect dignity and well-being for everyone. Human rights matter because they shape how people live, how they grow, and how valued they feel in society, every single day.